Digging deeper into the case involving Chad Dorman, the Clermont County man accused of shooting and killing his 3 boys.
This comes after his defense team is asking to have the entire interrogation with detectives just thrown out.
So Candace Hare spoke with a legal analyst and joins us now with what they had to say.
Well, Tricia, Megan, near the end of yesterday's hearing, Judge Richard Ferentz referenced a recent Ohio Supreme Court hearing. He said it shared some similarities with the issue of whether Chad Dorman voluntarily waived his rights. So I spoke with a legal analyst about this and why this motion could be key when it comes to the death penalty. In the case of Chad Dorman, the man accused of killing his 3 sons, legal analyst Mark Crumbine says the death penalty possibly hinges on whether or not Dorman's interrogation will be thrown out.
There's a lot of evidence he did these things without the confession. But I think the reason the confession is so critical is because in the confession he allegedly said that he was, planning this for months. So the prosecutors probably really need this confession to make sure that they get a conviction for aggravated murder, because that's one of the keys to the death penalty. It has to get the death penalty, it has to be a conviction for aggravated murder.
At the center of this argument is the reading of Miranda rights to Dorman.
You did not read all the Miranda rights on State's Exhibit 3, did you? On your card?
Word for word, no.
I'm a criminal defense attorney, so I'm very big on people understanding and having their rights explained to them. And they have to be explained. And that could be a problem right there.
During Wednesday's hearing, Judge Richard Ferentz mentioned a February 21st state Supreme Court opinion involving a juvenile. He said he felt it was relevant to this decision. This appears to be that opinion. It involved whether a juvenile waived his rights.
A young kid seemed sort of out of it and didn't, he was a young kid. He might not have been educated, might not have really understood what was going on.
The majority opinion, written by Joe Dieters, indicates the Supreme Court upheld the decision to admit the juvenile statements in court. But when it comes to Dorman...
Even though Dorman is not a juvenile, but he has a lot of indicia of having something wrong with him. Talking about God says take the first child, and he thinks somebody is a CIA agent. I don't think they are, probably. So he seems to be pretty confused. Maybe he didn't understand his rights, and again, he wasn't even given all of his rights.
So Crumbine tells me the 3 words to remember will be whether Dorman knowingly, intelligently, and voluntarily waived his rights. That decision now lies in the hands of Judge Ferentz, and we were told it could take about a month for that decision to be made. Of course, as we learn any more new developments, we'll share them with you here on our website and on our free mobile app. Candace Hare, Fox 19 Now.
Candace, real quick, when the 911 call was made, what was said on that? Because I thought he admitted it on the 911 call. Am I wrong here?
Perhaps.
Like, come over, I'm on the porch, that kind of stuff.
No. So the 911 call that at least I've heard did not come from him. From what we were understanding in court yesterday in hearing the detective testify, he said even at the beginning of questioning and interrogation, he was denying everything, and that it took them quite a bit of time of kind of speaking with him, asking him questions, building up some rapport and trust with him for him to allegedly have that confession.
And did Mark say they have to say every word of the Miranda rights? I was just curious.
So he didn't say that they had to say every word, and that was part of what we saw in that Supreme Court opinion. That's why it was probably brought up the other day, but he did say it's very important that they're told everything. One thing the detective said is that he didn't explicitly say potentially that he is allowed to have an attorney present with him during any of that questioning or interrogation. And so any of those little things, one way that Crumbine put it that I thought was apt is he said, on the surface, this seems really simple, but there's actually a lot of complicating factors here.
Oh yeah, so many questions, right?
All right, Candace, thanks.